Coming up, ATC privatization is introduced in Congress. AOPA and others take a stand. What your association is doing to protect your freedom to fly.
Is Cuba off the table for GA pilots? Not so fast, says our expert, plus drones helping firefighters.
The Air Race Classic departs from Frederick, and the best day ever.
We're really excited to tell you that you are one of our winners this year. How do you feel about that?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
AOPA Live this week starts in just a moment.
Build and flying with the Sonex aircraft B models. The B models offer more room and comfort, more fuel, more panel space, more engine choices, and the same great Sonex aircraft flight characteristics. Learn more at sonexaircraft.com.
This is AOPA Live This Week with Tom Haynes and Melissa Redinger.
Your association stands firm for general aviation, and this week we stand firm in making sure the attempt to privatize air traffic control does not negatively affect your freedom to fly.
Wednesday afternoon, House Transportation Committee Chair Bill Schuster introduced an FAA reauthorization bill that includes moving ATC to a private, nonprofit corporation. His measure exempts GA from user fees, and while that is a welcome development, the overall move to privatize ATC is fraught with challenges and potential pitfalls. AOPA, along with 5 other organizations that represent general aviation, issued this statement opposed to the bill. We have concluded that these reforms, while well-intentioned, will produce uncertainty and unintended consequences without achieving the desired outcomes. In countries where ATC has been privatized, general aviation does not thrive, leading AOPA and the other organizations to oppose it. And meanwhile, as we tape this, we're told that Senator Thune is about to introduce his own version of FAA reauthorization that does not include privatization. Check the AOPA website for the latest details.
In other big regulatory news this week, Cuba. President Donald Trump announced this week that previously relaxed regulations for travel to Cuba are being rolled back. Our Cuba expert says don't worry about it. It won't affect your ability to travel by GA to Cuba, well, not much.
The primary difference is the elimination of what would have been called an individual license to travel to Cuba and the continuation of something called a group license to travel to Cuba. It's a subtle change, but what it really means to the pilot as they're looking to plan their trip is essentially one thing. They can no longer book most of their itinerary or content in Cuba on their own individually. They have to use an agency in the United States that has a license from the Treasury Department to organize legal itineraries in Cuba.
You'll also have to have a guide from a handling company with you in Cuba. Find a detailed analysis of the new rules on cubahandling.com.
Good news from another regulatory front. Just 6 weeks into Basic Med, more than 10,000 pilots are now flying under Basic Med rules. The response to the new FAA medical certification alternative has been overwhelmingly positive from both pilots and physicians. AOPA continues to work with medical groups to inform them about the process, and more are coming on with the program each week. Physicians Immediate Care, which has a network of clinics in Illinois, Indiana, and Nebraska, recently announced they'll perform Basic Med exams following an information session with AOPA experts. If your doc was great about Basic Med, call our Pilot Information Center toll-free at 800-USA-AOPA to let us know. We're building a list of Basic Med-friendly doctors. Hey, and speaking of a lot, 1,000 flights is a milestone for any special mission aircraft. Scaled Composites is celebrating the 1,000th flight of its Proteus this week. The composite aircraft was designed in the late 90s as a high-altitude communications satellite platform. They wanted to bring broadband internet to the masses 20 years ago with this thing, and since then, the aircraft has amassed 4,000 flight hours.
This week, our home base at Maryland's Frederick Airport saw a lot of action. Frederick's the starting point for the all-women's Air Race Classic. AOPA Live's Josh Cochran has the story.
Frederick Tower Classic Racer 43, ready for takeoff. Classic Racer 43, Frederick Tower, runway 23, cleared for takeoff.
And they're off. Nearly 50 airplanes took off this week from Frederick to kick off the Air Race Classic. It's a challenging, ladies-only race across the country in single-engine airplanes. Since the race started in 1929, One of the goals is to bring together a diverse group of female pilots.
It's a great way to showcase our women that are pilots and to show that this is really something very cool that you can also do.
1, 2, 3. AOPA Angels!
AOPA has a team in the race, the AOPA Angels. The pilots on the team have a wide range of experience. The team has a new pilot.
Master's off. Just building my skills and learning some new things and spending time with the ladies. It'll be awesome.
A rusty pilot.
I figured if I'm ever going to get current again and get back in the left seat, this is the time. It's the opportunity.
And a professional pilot.
It'll be good for learning decision making and hopefully mentoring. That's really my key to this trip.
AOPA isn't the only team focused on mentoring. The race gives younger and less experienced pilots a chance to network and learn from more seasoned pilots.
You know, there's pilots from all over the country, all kinds of different careers, and so it's nice to kind of get to talk to different people from different backgrounds and what they're doing now and how they got there, so it kind of gives us an idea of different things we want to do.
This year's grueling route covers over 2,600 miles in just 4 days. After leaving Frederick, the women fly all the way up to Bemidji, Minnesota, and then down southwest to finish the race in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
It's a great test of skill and ability for our pilots. You have to know your plane very, very well, know how to get maximum performance out of that plane at the certain altitudes and elevations that we're flying at.
From 172s to Cirrus, there's a wide variety of airplanes in the race. To make up for the difference in speed, each airplane has a calculated handicap speed. The goal is to fly as fast over your handicap speed as possible to win the race.
Weather is a very important factor in this race. It can make or break a leg. A good part of it is judging where you're going to either get the best tailwind or, since we're going east to west, the least headwind.
Despite the competition, the race is about having fun and experiencing the best that aviation has to offer: camaraderie and the chance to see the country from the air.
I'm really excited to fly in the air race just for the adventure of it and the opportunity to stretch myself as a pilot and just the adventure of, you know, racing all the way across the country.
Josh Cochran, AOPA Live.
What a great story.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been colleagues with those ladies for a lot of years,
Yep.
and I think it's fun. 2 of the 3 weren't pilots when they came to AOPA.
That's right.
So a nice success story for those ladies.
It's great to see them stretch their legs. And as we record this, AOPA's team is in Spencer, Iowa, having already flown nearly 1,500 miles. You can see a live view where the racers are on the Air Race Classic website.
When we come back, how fire departments are using drones.
And the best day ever at AOPA.
This is so wonderful. It means that I can pursue my dream.
Did you know it's now fully legal to fly your plane to Cuba? Call the experts at Cuba Handling and we'll walk you through the process. Our team will make your flight simple and will create the experience of a lifetime. From hotels to cultural experiences, we do it all. Visit CubaHandling.com.
And we're pretty excited to tell you that this year you are one of the winners. So congratulations.
I am?
You are.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
So what does that mean to you?
Wow. That is amazing.
It doesn't get much better than that around here. That's the sound of a teenager finding out they've won a $5,000 flight training scholarship. The AOPA High School Flight Training Scholarships are part of the You Can Fly program. AOPA's Cindy Hasselbring says it's life-changing for the winners.
Many of them have been thinking about it since they began to walk, and so it's really ingrained in their blood. They just can't live without flying. So who are you going to tell first?
I'm telling my mom right now.
Oh, you are? What do you think she'll say?
Win the scholarship.
No, you did not.
I did.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Mom.
Oh my gosh.
Here, I'll put you on speaker.
Yeah, put her on speaker. Hi, Mom. How are you?
Goodness, this is so wonderful. It means that I can pursue my dream, and I have means to do that now.
A big congrats to all the winners. The You Can Fly team was able to award 23 scholarships, each worth $5,000. The scholarships are funded through generous donations to the AOPA Foundation. If you've taken flight training in the last year, we want to hear from you. The AOPA Flight Training Experience Survey is still open, and we need your input. Head to our website and help us improve flight training by participating in the survey.
If you haven't already heard about it, August 21st is going to be a big day as a total solar eclipse will occur across the United States. If you're looking for a place to go to see the eclipse, the Triple Tree Aerodrome is the place to be in South Carolina, and it's welcoming pilots. Triple Tree is the perfect place to fly in and camp with a 7,000-foot grass strip. The airport is almost directly under the eclipse path. Camping fees for many of the sites will be waived, and any donations will go to help maintain Triple Tree's amazing facilities. Find all the details on the Triple Tree website. Many firefighters are distrustful of drones. That's thanks to the trouble drones sometimes cause. They've been known to interfere with emergency operations. The fire department responsible for protecting Facebook and other Silicon Valley icons has embraced drones, however, so much so the fire district called dozens of other departments together to talk about the upside of firefighting with drones. AOPA's Jim Moore found many of the visiting firemen arrived eager to learn. He caught up with them at a symposium Menlo Park hosted at Stanford University recently.
There are many places not to fly a drone in and around Silicon Valley, if you're the average person at least. Some of the most complex airspace in the country. But the firefighters of Menlo Park put on this live demonstration, part of a day-long symposium that drew 200 uniformed personnel from across California and the country to learn some of what Menlo Park has learned about bringing drones to the rescue. The latest technology was on full display, like this DJI Inspire 2 behind me. It's a fire drone. Menlo Park firefighters talked up the technology and how they've put a growing fleet of drones to good use. Senior officials from NASA and the FAA delivered briefings.
When you come talk to us, we want you to be thinking about aircraft, airmen, and airspace.
Menlo Park was driven to drones in no small part by cars and trucks.
And our general response is relatively large pieces of equipment trying to go down crowded, if not totally blocked roads.
And primarily will be responding against traffic on the wrong side of the road, which again is not what we want to see.
This is kind of where I think drone technology will go next for us, which will be a drone that can carry multiple packages that benefit us.
So this vehicle has the ability to retain or release one of those payload boxes or its battery automatically.
The payload of the future could be cameras or first aid kits, radio transmitters, any number of things. And the company now developing a drone that can deliver for Menlo Park firefighters is a local firm operating so far in foreign countries.
We've been working in Switzerland for the last 2 years now. In March of this year, 2017, we became the first company to get authorization for full logistics operations over cities in Switzerland. This is the first deployment in the world, as far as I know, which is full logistics operations, which means beyond visual line of sight and over people. This is a city of 50,000 people, and we're basically overflying that population.
Matternet has agreed to share its developing technology with the firefighters of Menlo Park. They stick to cameras of various types for now.
That information can be sent to incoming crews and help the incident commander make decisions.
You know, we've grown and learned and started to understand, but it's been a long climb, a long process before we ever even flew. And I'm glad we did it that way.
Menlo Park firefighters encourage other departments to give the technology a try. Jim Moore, AOPA Live.
Matternet is meanwhile preparing to fly over a large Swiss city near an international airport. The Menlo Park-based company is also studying Part 107 and will likely decide soon whether to seek FAA authorization for flights beyond line of sight in U.S. airspace. Well, that'll do it for us this week. I'm Tom Haynes.
And I'm Melissa Rudinger. See you next Thursday for another edition of AOPA Live This Week.
Brightly,
instruments for professionals.